Can the Prime Minister tell the House how many new homes or units were built in January?
Call to order. Give a call to the member for Hume will cease interjecting immediately. Give a call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. And I'm asked a question about migration. And indeed, just last week, the Centre for Population put out a population forecast which showed that Australian population is now expected to be smaller in 2030-31 than the pre-pandemic forecast published by the former government when this bloke here was the minister, when he was the cabinet minister responsible for migration. Here's what the population statement said. For 2030-31, the expected population is 600,000 people, or 2.1%, below what was projected prior to the onset of the pandemic in 2019-2020. But it's not just when he was the minister, Mr Speaker, because this is what the Leader of the Opposition has said with his current title of Leader of the Opposition. He has said this on the 2nd of September 2022. We do need an increase in the migration numbers.
Order. Order. Members on my right will cease interjecting. Order. Members on my right will cease interjecting. The Minister for Industry will cease interjecting. And I'll hear from the member for Deakin on a point of order.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. The question asked the Prime Minister how many homes were built in January.
Order.
If he's unable to answer that question, he should sit down.
The Leader of the House.
Speaker, it's become a practice now from those opposite to stand up taking a point of order, to not nominate any standing order, at all that they think is being breached. And in previous parliaments, when it's got to this point, there have been times where the Speaker has simply insisted that at the start someone has to nominate what standing order they're raising, because otherwise it's just being used as extra speeches.
Order. I think we'll sort this out one way or the other. Moving forward, if you don't get up and say what the standing order, you'll leave the chamber immediately. So just that everyone's crystal clear. No more coming to the dispatch box, giving a speech, asking a question. Under the standing orders, there is one time to take a point of order on relevance. It's pretty easy to do. You simply just get up and say, I'm taking my point of order on relevance. So this is the warning shot. So if it is happening more and more, question time's not going to operate like that. If you do that, you won't stay. Prime Minister in continuation.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. And of course, he didn't say it just once. He went on to say this in October 2022. In addition to a domestic workforce, of course, we need migration. We need migration. It wasn't a stutter, Mr Speaker.
Order.
Not a stutter. It was a repeat of how important it was, just to emphasise it. And then in his first budget reply, because there was no policy there at all, he said this: I brought in record numbers of people. Boasting he was, Mr Speaker, boasting. But it wasn't just him, Mr Speaker. The Deputy Leader said this: we know that urgently needed business needs a workforce, and much of that workforce needs to come from overseas. That's what they had to say. The Shadow Minister for Immigration went on to say, we need to get our international students back. We need to get our working holiday visa holders back. They're out there, the whole of their front bench. They're out there saying, we need more people. We need more people. And of course, that's before I have time to go through the wrecked migration program with that troika, which were there.
The Treasurer was ceased interjecting.
From Dr Parkinson, of course from Christine Nixon and from Dennis Richardson, all showing what a failed migration system looks like under those opposite. Well, we're getting on with fixing it with a minister who actually has a migration policy.